All right, so I'm gonna start first on how I even got into the Ironman stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was at an ultramarathon race, and a couple of the crew members of the guy that was doing the 100-miler said that I should do this 70.3 Ironman. It's only 2 hours away from Raleigh, so it'd be something different than an ultramarathon. And at first, I just completely avoided it and was like, no, I'm good. I'll stick to doing ultramarathons. And then a couple days later, I was like, you know what, I think this would be really good for me to be outside of my comfort zone. I've done a couple ultramarathons, so I'm starting to get comfortable with this space. Let's do something uncomfortable. Bought my ticket, signed up, and then we had about 4 months of prep to get ready for the actual race. Having been as my ultramarathon coach, I was pretty familiar with the training style that he likes to do. We pretty much just picked up where we left off from ultramarathon training, and a lot of it was biking, swimming, and running, with about 2 strength workouts every week. The swim, the first 2 months of that training block with the swim was all about technique. And so that's what seemed to be the hardest part, where I really had to focus during the training versus going on a hour and a half, 2 hour zone 2 run. We stuck with that for 4 months, but it was a progressive cycle to where each week, and then essentially when you look at it over the past 4 months, we peaked up to a performance that we wanted to be to go into the race, and then we tapered down and showed up fresh to the actual race, which I felt really good at the start of the race. So race started on Saturday morning. We left for Wilmington from Raleigh, North Carolina on Friday morning around 10 a.m. It was about a 2-hour drive. We got to Wilmington and went straight to the check-in and got everything staged over to the transition points. We are here, Ironman in Wilmington, North Carolina. We've got checked in, went through the athlete check-in, got everything that I need to have for transition bags, things like that. So I need to write the bib number on there, and I want you guys to know this is my first time doing this, so I don't know. I don't know where to go, what to do exactly, but we're gonna figure it out. Transition 1, start point, transition 2, getting the athlete brief, and then really just eating the rest of the day and hydrating. We had already been carbing up 3 days before the race, so the main thing was just not getting carried away with all that, the tasks to do with race check-in, all that kind of stuff, to where I just forgot to eat or hydrate. So that was one thing that I focused on during all getting checked in. After we got done checking in, we went and had sushi, and then got to bed around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Probably laid there awake until 12:30 a.m. and then we woke up on race day on Saturday morning at 2:30 a.m. and then we were out the door by 3 a.m. to go to transition 1. And then once we got to transition 1, which is where I would get out of the water and get onto the bike, we drove there, got out, and then we walked across the bridge and went to the start point. And from there, we had about 30-45 minutes until we started around 7:15 a.m. Sun came up. We all got in this giant line. There was a little bit less than 3,000 competitors out there. So each couple, 20, 30 people, there would be different time slots. So like if you were a fast swimmer and you were gonna do the swim in 27 minutes, you'd go in this, part of the line. And then somebody would be holding up a sign for X amount of minutes, and wherever I felt like I would fit in, then that's where I went. And I think I went to the 33 to 35 minute time period. So jumped in line and just pretty much slowly creeped up as everybody was getting in the water. It was like a rolling start. Then once we got in the water, it was probably 7:30 a.m. by this time. I planned on and thought like a 40-minute time period in the swim would be pretty good. Like if I could get through the 1.2 mile swim in 40 minutes, that'd be good. And the whole train up, I was in a pool and in a lake. There was no moving water. There was no little waves. There was nothing about the water was rough. And so I felt pretty good about my technique. Like I barely had to pick my head up out of the water to get air. And when I was in the ocean, even just the littlest wave, when I would come up to get my air, just mouthful of water. And that was every single time. And so I was getting a little frustrated and would just like turn on my back and just like backstroke for a minute or two and then flip back over. And I just kept doing this, freestyle, backstroke, and just pretty much did that until got to the other side. So the swim definitely was interesting because it was a problem that I identified like right off the bat. I was like, why is this happening? And I knew that it wasn't something that was gonna like make me stop or make me have to quit. It just was annoying, just a mouthful of salt water every time I went to get a breath, but we made it through it. Did the swim and then transitioned right on to the bike. Took about 10 minutes in the transition period to get my wetsuit off, get my bike shoes on, get my helmet, get my glasses, put my socks on, just get everything that I needed to. I started chugging some electrolytes at the transition period and then got on the bike and just started going. I would say that it went by a lot faster than I thought, and I realized that it was going to after the first couple miles, because like you're biking and then 3 minutes hit and boom, you hit another mile. You can feel it on your watch, like tell you another mile. So I was like, damn, these are actually going by pretty quick. And I break these things up into like little sections, and really like it's just hour by hour. And so I knew that just get through that first hour and then see how that first hour went. You know what I mean? And if that first hour went pretty well, I just tell myself, all right, do that for one more hour. I'm not thinking about the whole thing. And then once I do it for 2 hours, then I'm like, oh, I only have 1 hour left. So I kind of just tell myself those things. And once I get to like the halfway point, when 28 miles, I was like, all right, we did half of it already. So if we've done half of it now, we can do another half. We know that we can do 28 miles, so now we just got to do it again. And that's kind of the mental voices that are going on, in my head. 56 miles is a long time, but when you're out there with a bunch of people and you're just constantly surrounded by people that are suffering just like you are, it makes the time go by pretty quick. Yeah, I would say the best part about the race, and this goes with ultramarathons, coming into an aid station, or for this Ironman, coming into a transition station, your morale is just through the roof. There are so many people there cheering for you that you have no idea who they are. And then you see the people that you do know that are here to cheer for you. And it was amazing to get into the transition points and just to feel the energy from the crowd and all that stuff. It was really awesome. So getting into transition 2 from the bike onto the run, right when I got into the transition point, Rodrigo was right off to the left. Him and his daughter were there, and that got me so fired up. To see them, I ran over, gave him a hug, and then I was just, the fire was lit. like I said, the energy from the crowd was already lighting that fire, but to see, somebody that you're close with there, that's watching you and there to support you and drove this way to support you, that was really cool. So go from the bike into the run and had to take all the biking gear off, had to take the helmet off, had to take the biking shoes off. So kicked off the biking shoes, took off the helmet, and then threw on running shoes and grabbed the 2 handheld water bottles. I felt like I was running like a baby deer. My legs felt numb and it didn't feel like I was moving or looked like I was moving properly whatsoever at all. So my legs were super heavy after the run, but I had just all this adrenaline from being around the crowd, being around the people that I love that are there supporting and watching. I didn't even feel it until I would say probably mile 6 or 7 into the run. That's also when I ran out of my 2 bottles for fuel. So I had just had Stay Ready Endurance and Electrolytes in 2 handheld bottles. And once I ran out of those about halfway through, now I was just relying on what I could get at the aid stations. And but by that time, you're at like 60 miles. So you have a couple more miles left in the big, grand scheme of things. So by that point, you're just like, don't stop moving. Just continue to move forward. There were some times that I would walk for 20, 30 seconds, and then I'd run again. And my mentality was just keep moving forward as fast as you can. If that means that you need to walk for a second, then that's fine, you can walk. I'm totally okay with that, you know what I mean? And so just continue to move forward until we got to the finish line, and the finish line was amazing. I mean, there's so many people there cheering for you, and you your body almost just goes completely numb. Like you don't feel any pain, you don't feel anything. You're moving like you're in pain just because you're sore, but crossing that finish line and knowing that you're done, it's a really, really good feeling. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, what's next? Like what do we do next? The full Ironman is not in the cards. Like there's no plan to do one right now. Right now, the next race or event is this HYROX in a month, and then the big race that I've really been thinking about is this 100-miler in March. And anything after that, I don't have planned yet. I do have some personal things that I want to accomplish and be able to do prior to making a commitment like that. MJ and I want to have a kid. Her and I want to get married. We want to do other things outside of just training all the time, and then kind of get situated with life and then jump into something big. I know a 100-mile prep is really big too, but I've already committed to that one. And so I know that it's going to take up a lot of time, but we've signed up for it. We've committed to it. Now afterwards, I don't know. Then it could be a full Ironman. It could be, a 200-mile race. It could be it could be whatever, who knows what is going to be up by then. But as of right now, not a full Ironman in the works yet, but that doesn't mean that we won't do one. I would say this, the hardest part of the entire 4 months was managing my time in order to give myself enough time to train for that day. Sometimes the training was a 2-hour bike and then an hour lifting session or swim. The days sometimes were 3 to 4 hours of training, and some locations were in different spots. Maybe I had to go to the gym, and then I had to go to the pool or go to the lake for an open water swim. On top of that, I'm trying to run a business with Alpha Country. I'm trying to coach my son's football team for flag football. Now I'm bringing the kids to school, picking the kids up from school, taking care of them, being a present dad, like being able to manage a event or a challenge that you're trying to do that requires you to spend 3 or 4 hours of training sometimes a day. That can bleed over into the time that's needed to be a parent, to be a coach, to be a business owner. So managing my time was outside of the physical part, the challenge during a 4-month trade out for a 70.3 Ironman.
How's it feel to be done?
Feels good. I want to give a big shout out to Josh, who is putting together all of these videos, from Alpha Country videos to on this channel, on this YouTube, on my personal page for Instagram. Like, Josh has been absolutely crushing all those, so appreciate you, Josh. MJ, she has been a big part of why Alpha Country is successful and why it is the brand and looks and feels and speaks the way that it does. She is a big help with that. And she's also the one behind the camera taking pictures for everything on Alpha Country page, my personal page, during this whole 70.3 prep. So thank you guys. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting, from being on YouTube, Instagram, reaching out in the DMs, sending text messages. Just your support means the absolute world. And I know Josh feels the same way. You guys are the reason why we make these videos, to motivate you and inspire you to go push past your limits. Like, we are just normal people that just need and thrive for and seek this challenge for physical, growth and mental growth. Like, we seek these challenges and we want to show you guys the process and bring you along, and we want you guys to be doing the same thing. And so I hope that, we are putting out the things that do accomplish those goals. And we love watching you guys crush it too. And just thank you for all the support, because it means the absolute world. So appreciate you guys.